Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay Lewis, editor of Building Enclosure. Thanks for listening along with us today. On July 30th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we're hosting a free webinar sponsored by GAF. The webinar, The A to Z of Tapered Design, goes into detail about implementing tapered design into roof assemblies. Today, I'm joined by two of our webinar presenters, Veronica Chevroth, Senior Sales Design Specialist for GAF, and Jennifer Keegan, the Senior Director of Building and Roofing Science for GAF. Veronica and Jennifer, thanks for sitting with us.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So let's get into it. What makes roofs with tapered insulation different from others?
Well, I liken roofs with tapered insulation to Legos. I always mention that when I speak to people, they are just Lego pieces for roofs, and it's a puzzle for us to generate. And basically, it creates a water slide for the rain directed to drains or scuppers. And that's what makes it fun because every roof is different.
So with that being said, how do low slope roofs benefit from tapered insulation?
Well, we invest about 2% of the construction budget in our roof, yet about 80% of water intrusion issues are litigation based. So how do we resolve that? And so tapered insulation really helps us be able to manage that flow of water and kind of help put that focus on shedding water off the roof as quickly as possible to mitigate the potential for those issues.
So I guess speaking on that, what are the consequences of not including proper roof drainage into these design documents?
We see that a lot, right, Veronica? It's listed as by others many times on this drawing. And I have not met that contractor by others that actually picks up all that extra scope. So we end up making a lot of assumptions. And then projects end up in this value engineer phase, which does not usually bring in value nor engineering. It's more cost and schedule management, which just gets us into trouble and then leads us to that litigation part that we talked about earlier. So let's being proactive in managing it up front manages risk.
Now, you'll be going more into depth in this in the webinar, of course, but looking at the language in the IECC 2021, how does that vary from the 2018 version?
It's a big change, and it's basically going to be based on your local jurisdiction. But the main change is that instead of looking at your minimum value at the drain, when there's tapered insulation present at the roof, we're going to be able to take the average value of your total design and then build up to reach the new minimum. But there are jurisdictions like Florida as a state has adopted IACC 2021, but they are not adopting that certain element, that certain state value, or the language rather, that adopts average values. So it's going to be very heavily monitored by your local jurisdiction, and that's why working with a tapered design specialist from a manufacturer can help you figure that out.
Now, looking at this from a contractor's perspective, are there any benefits for contractors when it comes to bidding and including these installations?
Yes, very much their reputation. I mean, if the roof does not function, does not drain, that means you're going to have issues down the line of dirt building up or, plants growing because the water's not getting off of the roof, or even like Jennifer just mentioned, water intrusion, and then they have to fix their work that they just did. So again, working with the taper design specialist will mitigate these RFIs down the road and make sure that their project goes off well.
So what else will attendees learn come July 30th?
We're going to go over real world examples. I have photos. We're going to go over some design iterations on how to solve these real world problems.
Well, thank you again, Jennifer and Veronica, for joining me today.
You're welcome.
We're looking forward to it. It'll be fun. Thanks, Lindsay.
To register for this free webinar coming up on July 30th, head to continuingeducation.bmpmedia.com. Until next time, visit us on buildingenclosureonline.com for your technical and educational resources.